Option strategies. Sounds complicated, right? Well, it is how Wall Street pros make the big bucks. But hold on. Surrochick mother is a firm believer that life does not have to be complicated. If you understand how a farm works, then you can understand options. Raising chickens from eggs, trying to guess which eggs will hatch, and which chicks will turn out to be roosters. These are all the same skills you can use to learn option strategies and invest in the stock market. Think of it like this. Options is just like buying and selling chickens. All you're doing is counting the eggs before they're hatched. Yes, I know how that sounds. It's pretty risky, but if you're right, it pays off big. Now, there are two sides to this farm selling and buying. Selling options, like selling chickens on a farm, it is a bit like running a business. Buying options is more like being a consumer. So which one's right for you? Let's break it down plain and simple. Spoiler alert. I personally think it's better to start on the sell side. Learn the business. That way, when it's time to buy, you'll know what is good quality and what will be a good deal for you. Selling options. Yay. Welcome to the good life. You are running your own little farm. Of course, to sell options, you must own them, specifically 100 shares. This is a block called a contract. One block or contract of shares would be like one whole chicken. Yes. On apps like Robinhood, Bull, and Moo Moo. You can buy fractional shares, just like you can buy parts of a chicken at a grocery store. But when it comes to the stock market, we are dealing with real farmers. You will need a whole chicken to set up your option shop. One whole chicken would be 100 shares. If you're selling puts, you would need enough money to purchase 100 shares of the stock. Someone comes along hungry for profit and buys that option or chicken from you. Maybe they want to pick up their freshly purchased chicken in April. That's when they think it will start laying eggs. So they pay you upfront, cash in hand. Ching. Did you hear that instant money hit your cash register? That's your premium, your profit for selling the option. Does that make sense? What you have sold is the privilege for that person to own 100 shares. The buyer will pick up a whole chicken in April if it starts laying eggs. What you have sold is a call option. Now, if the price of 100 shares stays low, if your chicken never starts laying eggs by April, you keep the premium and your chickens too. But what if the price skyrockets? What if your chicken starts laying eggs like crazy in March? Well, you might have to sell that chicken early. However, you still made money on the premium. Remember, you get the cash from selling the chicken. Now it's time to go shopping for more chicks. Cash in hand. Owning chickens, just like owning 100 shares of stocks, can be fun. You get to watch them grow. Selling options along the way can earn you passive income. Want to know something else? Even if you've sold a contract on one chicken, if a better buyer comes along, you can always roll the option or roll the contract, but we'll save that discussion for another day. Like a good farmer, you're in control. You decide what to sell, when to sell, and how much to charge. The money is instant into your account. The more chickens you own, the more contracts you can sell at a premium. This is a very scalable business. Selling the rights to your egg-laying chickens in the future is called selling covered calls. Selling the cash to own chickens in the future is called a cash-covered put. Sounds pretty good, right? Now, buying options is a different story. Imagine walking into a chicken farm and wanting to buy a chicken. You're trying to guess which eggs may hatch and turn into egg-laying chickens. You're hoping later to sell those egg-laying chickens for a nice profit. You may not even want to own the chickens. You could just be flipping the contracts, which eggs will hatch, which eggs will be duds, which eggs will be roosters, which eggs will be hens. As a buyer of options, you are constantly making guesses and putting your money where your mouth is. You do not have to own any chickens to buy an option. Yes, no shares needed, no chicken coop, no chicken feed. If you're right and the stock moves your way, you can win big. Yay! This contract resulted in 4 hens and a rooster. You were spot on. But if you're wrong, well, you could lose your premium. Sorry, sir. Those, in fact, are duck eggs, not chickens. By the way, I've heard Wendy's is hiring. Yes, it's high risk, but it can be also high reward. Buying options can be like spending the day at a flea market, but it's important to remember there are no guarantees that what you buy will work out. As a stock options buyer, just like a buyer of young chickens, you will need to learn what creates value, how to predict growth, and what is in demand. Some rely on technical analysis to help predict this. So, you want to dip your toes into the world of options? My advice? Start with selling. Why? Because it's like starting your own business, not gambling your hard-earned cash. When you sell options, you collect that sweet, sweet premium up front. It's like getting paid to raise the chickens you already love. Plus, you're in the driver's seat. You control the risk, manage your positions, and make decisions like the savvy investor you are. Remember, options trading isn't a get-rich-quick scheme. It takes time, patience, and a bit of know-how. But by starting with selling options, you're setting yourself up for success, one premium at a time.